go, man.
All right. Welcome to another week in the tunnel. You got your boy Dallas Melvin here. You know how we do it. We got my co-host, Patrick Truesdale. What's up, bro?
What's up, baby? What's up, baby? I'm very excited. Cinco de Mayo, you know.
Yeah, we got some margaritas on tap today for Cinco de Mayo, celebrating all cultures, because that's how we do it. Y'all know my boy Miles, friend of the show. He's back.
I got my boy Mayo Drake, one of the top agents in the game.
So we got, with us. Hold on, we can't do them like that, man. We got special guest, first time ever in the tunnel, sports agent, Emmanuel Drakes. The man with the plan, who's had some well-recognized players. I'm not gonna steal all your thunder, brother, but we really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
My bad. Not introduced to a VIP list.
Man. You sit next to the man over there.
I'm just trying to thank the man. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you guys for having me.
So we're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna talk a lot of football, basketball,
Hold on,
playoffs.
can I say something before we get started?
Go ahead.
Yo, can we I want to give a shout out to you and Truesdale for real, because the show is really picking up. You guys are around going viral, doing big things, man, and y'all need to get y'all flowers for that.
Oh,
too,
yeah,
though.
and we give you flowers. Talk about that AAU.
No, I appreciate it.
How that went, big.
I'm blessed to be a part of it, but also, man, you guys doing the work.
I appreciate it, man.
I definitely want to do that for
the
sure.
The show would not be the show without you and all our loyal listeners, all the people that's in the tunnel with us. Speaking of being in the tunnel, make sure you go on our social media. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out, and make sure you subscribe. Don't just watch us and bootleg us. Subscribe. Make sure you go to our Instagram.
Positive.
Make sure you go to
Hey, we gonna get it together. We gonna get it together.
Make sure you go to our Facebook. Hey, ladies, we can hear you.
Calm down.
That's what happens when you're doing a live show, everybody. We're doing a live show this week. Make sure you go to our TikTok, our Facebook. So let's get it cracking for sure. Let's get it cracking. So
Miles.
Emmanuel.
Yes.
Go ahead and tell us about the big announcement you got with your strategic partnership.
Well, we're super excited over at Upper Edge Sports Management in this new era of just NIL and so many just different spaces for this NIL. We decided to go out with our CEO of Upper Edge Sports, Andy Ross, decided to go out with Miss Tara over at Prime One, the only women's only NIL company in the country, one of the largest.
Nice.
We just look for ways to help expand our platform and to be more of a resource for the families that we serve, and we're just excited about it.
So tell us about this documentary y'all got going. Not documentary, but like how y'all came together.
No, we came together and just decided to get with a number of elite players and just continue to work hard and go forward, trying to sign players.
So with this partnership, do you envision it kind of being able to provide these kids a roadmap from high school to college to the pros?
Yeah, so we're just giving them a runway.
A runway,
you know, a lot of times, when you're dealing with 3, 4, or even 5, most definitely 5-star athletes, those families' careers are just as important. The 3-star family, their career is just as important as the 5-star family career. So what we did, we went out, we got a partnership with Prime One, and so now we're able to help the athlete choose a college and then move forward and help them navigate if they have to transfer schools. But now we're able to take them from high school to college to the pros.
To the NIL.
Oversee it, yes.
So that's huge. That's huge. So with that being said, just the strategic partnership is definitely an example. But you've been a sports agent for over 20 years?
20 plus years,
20 plus years, been in the game, obviously a long time, seen a lot of transition. What's the biggest difference in your role today versus when you got into the game?
Well, 20 years ago when I got in the game back in 1999, before I really knew that I was getting into the business, it was really based on relationships. Now in 2026, it's based on let's just say it's based on, it's more strategic and transactional as opposed to just building relationships. Now there's a lot of money moving around, and with that being said, there's a lot of different motives that come along with situations around these athletes.
So I know we're talking football, but Miles, we got you on the show. You obviously well-known AAU coach, have trained, players from middle school to high school to college, and you got players that you train are in the NBA right now. How do you envision what he's doing with his strategic partnership, helping out players that you come in contact with?
I think it's all about information education for him. I think, like he said, the biggest part that people don't realize plays are the parents, right? Like, especially when you starting. Nowadays, you guys are talking to kids middle school age,
Yes,
right? Like
yes.
when you first started 20 years ago, that was not in the thought process.
That was a sin.
right, exactly.
Yes.
So now you have to educate, like before when you were educating maybe late high schoolers, college kids, pros, now you're educating mom, dad, grandma, auntie on that. And I think it's the trust factor in that you're educating and they believe that you're educating for them, not just for you. How do you get over that hump and make sure that they understand that?
Well, I thank God that I have three younger children. Well, they're young adults, but I think just staying close to younger individuals keeps you fresh. But now it's you building a relationship with the kid, with mom, dad, uncle, sometimes Pookie.
Absolutely.
Don't forget Ray Ray.
Ray Ray too. So
Gotta watch Ray Ray.
I always watch Ray Ray.
And
Day Day too. But the biggest thing is, like I said, just you're always educating, but it's just the mom managers, the dad managers, and our business is one where you have to be perfect. If there's 12 people involved, you have to get a yes from 12 people. And if you don't get that yes, you better most definitely have it from one of the major decision makers or influential individuals.
Before your next question, hey, In the Tunnel fans, make sure you hop in the chat. We got bona fide sports agent who's represented the #1 pick in the NFL draft in the past. I'm gonna let him throw that out there. I'm not gonna steal his thunder, but we got a resource here. You can ask him some questions. We're gonna try to get to talk about whatever we can talk about, as well as you got my boy Miles in the house and Truesdale. Y'all forget, Truesdale been in the game over 25 years in the football game too. So when you start talking about getting your kids from high school, middle school, high school, into colleges, and now with the relationship we have with the pros, throw some of those questions out there and let us hear from you. So Miles, you about to say?
No, I was gonna ask, like you said, momagers, right? You have a lot of parents and family members that feel they can do your job. How do you express to them they can't necessarily do your job?
Because a lot of them think they can do your job.
Well, you have to handle them with white gloves and explain to them that their role is important, but sometimes mom and dad can still run the show, but just allow the experts to do what the experts do. And you just have to most definitely include them in the process, because if you make the wrong mom or dad feel as if they're not important, you won't sit at the table long.
Not long at all. Has there ever been a request, like just an ask that you were just like, man, I gotta go, I can't stick around?
I've been blessed in the sense that I've had some pretty decent parents. I've had some firm and tough parents, but ultimately I haven't been presented with any situations where parents were just not thoughtful of their child ultimately in the process.
I got you.
So, Emmanuel, we're going to come back to NIL a little bit in a second, but you being a sports agent over 20 years, and we always hear, quote, some of the questionable stuff that these players are doing, whether it's baby mamas, whether they're getting arrested or whatever. I want you to share at least one story of a player that's done some stuff in the community that people may not have heard about. And then I know, Truesdale, you got one you could probably talk about too. Yeah. So, Mayo, share something. Well, Cam was right there.
Okay.
Let's tell the people what the players are really doing.
Well, I was blessed early in my career to sign Josh Johnson, who was out of the University of San Diego. He's a journeyman. He's played, I think, with 15, maybe 16 teams at this point.
Tight end?
No, he's a quarterback.
Quarterback. That's right,
quarterback. But he's also first cousins with Marshawn Lynch.
That's right.
So they have a program called
Josh Johnson.
Yes.
I remember that, yeah.
Family
That's how we
First.
met.
Yeah,
That's
it
how we
was.
met.
So Family First. So I was able to be a part of that when they was getting that off of the ground, and just to see what Marshawn and Josh have grown that into some almost 17 years later, just being in the community. One of the things that Josh told me early on, and I took this with me, he said, you know, Sundays is where you build a career, but Monday through Saturday is where you build a legacy. And I've always taken that with me.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about that story, too, Emmanuel? It's like, it's amazing. That kid was really good. Should have got drafted, didn't get drafted. And he's been in the lead over there nearly, what, 19 years?
18,
and getting little endorsement deals.
Yep.
Done a hell of a job.
Yeah.
So we're in the chat. We got a question in the chat, Mayo. And I'm going to let you answer this the way you can answer it. This is not necessarily you, but we're trying to talk about, like, the industry.
Okay.
Are ages behind jumping from college to college, or is that mainly the parents driving that?
That's a great question. I think social
Great
media
question.
and a lot of the clingers and yes men are a big reason for players jumping from school to school. And I think most definitely the young people need to be compensated for playing college sports. But I think we're going to have to get more structure and framework. And one of the reasons is, I'll give you a perfect example. You can take a player that went to the University of Georgia or the University of Texas and played for 4 years. That kid, since 8 out of 10 ball players are broke 3 to 5 years after retirement, I think we're losing sight of the fact that players can call later on in their lives and reach back to that university. But with players jumping from school to school, they won't be able to make those phone calls.
That's true.
Later on
they're
in
not
life.
gonna bring a
And
brotherhood.
I think that's part of the tragedy of, just jumping from school to school.
Can I go on the other side and
Because
defend them a
you're
little
not
bit?
building no.
Please.
But I'm gonna say this real
Please.
quick. You're not building no brotherhood.
No, you're
You're
not.
gonna, alumni. You're not doing that.
It's relationships. But
Exactly.
Go ahead.
That's
But,
like
but there's the other side of it. People don't realize half of the players in the portal is not their choice. Like, people don't realize when you get a scholarship, at least on the basketball end, it's not 4-year scholarships
It's the
anymore.
same thing in football.
It's
1
year to year. It's year to year
So
every
a lot
year.
of times coaches are saying you got to go.
But technically and historically, that's not the case. I think we all know of a number of situations. I won't dive into that.
No, of course not,
But I think there was a precedence that was set by one particular situation where it was very visible, and the person went in and sent a bunch of kids home. And I just think that part of being a coach is building up young men, because we're supposed to be disciples. We're supposed to we coaching is more than just making money. And I just think that we have a higher calling.
I agree with that.
In terms of molding these young men.
But a lot of times, like I say, I've seen this. I know it's what you're talking about in other situations, and those coaches have short leashes to feed their families. And a lot of times they feel like you aren't going to help me do that, right? And I'm not saying that across the board for everybody, but I've seen situations where coaches will come in and they may even keep them a year and say, you guys are with me for a year, but next year I got my people coming in.
But I think, they're not polar opposites, but in basketball and football, typically you have your one-and-done kids. So most of your elite athletes are coming in and they're playing college basketball for 1 or 2 years, and then
exactly.
they're gone. So there's
Same
a lot
football.
of change up in the rosters, but I think we all need to pay attention to the fact that in NIL right now, the college landscape has changed because you have something called a general manager now.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
with you having a general manager,
Absolutely.
a lot of those rosters are constructed to look like professional rosters.
You know what's funny, because can't say no name, but got a coach from USC I talked to this week, and some of them came down this week, and what they doing now, it's like NFL. They got their favorites. I ain't gonna say favorites, but they got the guys that they want to sit. They letting the GMs handle that. And a lot of college coaches not making the decisions. They're not making the offers.
That's
this
true.
stuff is like really hard.
That's true.
I understand you could go pro, but to me, I still like it the old-fashioned way, because to me, a real coach been around a long time and coaching a long time. How somebody in the office gonna tell them a kid ain't good enough where they good?
I will say,
real quick.
I had a school today call me. He sent a film to the school, another school. I ain't gonna say the school name. He sent his kid film to the school. They say he okay, but when the coach got to his hotel, he called me about 40 minutes before the show, he said, this kid can play. Like, what they talking? And I was like, you making your decision? He said, yes. It's sad because a lot of these coaches they making their decisions.
So if we're really talking about the college level and even the high school level being aligned similar to pro, then it's going to take time for those levels to get the cohesiveness, because we talk about it all the time. When you're a GM, you want your coach, right?
Yep.
And if you're a coach that's been there a long time, you want to get your GM that's aligned to it. So there is going to be some transition as they transition those styles. But here's what I will say, though. At the end of the day, if you a baller, you're going to play. And even if they're going towards a more pro style, even the pros, and correct me if I'm wrong, even the pros, they might turn over 25% of their roster every year. Unlike the Dallas Cowboys, who's going to turn over like 56 on the defensive side because they had a horrible year. But most of the time, they're not cutting like 75% of the players. Most of the time, it's that bottom 15, bottom 20 that, yeah.
But Melvin, what you got to understand, too, Owen, you got guys been coaching a long time. They know talent. They know what's best. They don't got no decisions. And it's people in that office may agree with them, don't agree with them, and they want to get the guys they want, and they'll say those guys ain't good enough. And what's crazy is those kids end up going to a team they play against a bowl game, playoff, or even a conference, and he can bite them in the butt. Not taking them. So my thing, if you're a college coach and got success and got a resume, no GM and these young guys shouldn't tell this man he shouldn't think this kid ain't good enough when he think that kid is good enough.
So, Emmanuel, I want to go back to something you said earlier, that it's becoming more transactional.
It is.
But in a sense, what Truesdale's talking about and where the landscape is going, it's even more important for you to have a relationship with somebody. Because I tell you, and y'all see it on the show, I don't always agree with Truesdale, but that man got over 25 plus years in the game, and he's got experience that I don't have. So from that standpoint, I respect him and respect his opinion. And if we flipping the coin from a football decision, he gonna get it. He gonna get it. So, but guess what? That's because we built a relationship with each other. How do you see as you interact with different colleges and players that are coming through, and even what y'all going into? How do you see those relationships internally from the outside looking in, as far as NIL and affecting them?
Are you saying with the universities?
Yeah, with the universities and how they're dealing with the players and how they're dealing with each other.
I mean, I think every university is different. You know, it's all culture. You know, Virginia Tech will approach things a certain way. Penn State, Texas, and naturally, you know, money plays a big factor into it. So resources just, I think, you know, if you're talking about Texas and Ohio State, those guys play a different game. Because I personally, you know, I tell people NIL's been around a long time.
You ain't lying, buddy.
You know, ask SMU.
It was called fun money then.
Ask SMU. Ask A&M. Oh, never mind. I digress. Hey, speaking of that, we in the chat. Somebody in the chat said, we're just going to ask this question. He can't answer it. I can't answer it. Nobody can answer it because we don't know. It's legislation. When is NIL coming to high school in Texas? We don't know. We don't know. It's legislated by the government right now as it stands. They don't allow it in Texas, but, you know.
There's a lot of Texas after they graduate.
Yeah, once you graduate. But as a high schooler, until you graduate, or until your class graduates, you're technically not eligible from that standpoint. So let's talk about, come on, man. I've been skirting around it. Talk about your number one draft pick that you represent, some of the other players you got on your roster. Who the first player that you signed when you got in the game? Let's talk about the number one first, then the first player you signed.
Well, I've had a relationship with Clowney for a long time, and
you mean Jadeveon Clowney that led the Dallas Cowboys in sacks last year? That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's how you got on the show, by the way.
He used to take
That's
pick number one.
I'm just telling you. That's how you got on the show.
Well, thank you, Clowney, for that. But I've like I said, I've had a relationship with Clowney for years, and I think I followed him because I had Captain Marlin and a number of guys from South Carolina years ago. But I think it was a hit. It was a hit. I knew at some point I didn't get him on the front side of his career, but like I said, just over years, maintaining a relationship, and when he decided to make a move, I was able to sit down with him, and I'm sure he sat down with a number of other people, but you know, when you're trying to date the prettiest girl in school, you don't worry about who else trying to date her, you know,
So I'm gonna digress because this ain't even on my notes, but I've heard it so many times over like recently. Jadavion Clowney, you said you were watching him for a long time out of South Carolina, and there's some other players you get out of South Carolina, and we in Texas, we know we're a football state. Talk about the hidden gem that South Carolina is from an athletic standpoint.
The hidden gem?
Yeah, like players coming out of South Carolina.
We got Mo in the house.
I mean, I really, I'd rather stay away from that from the standpoint of I don't want everybody to know who I'm talking to. So let's.
No. Okay, I got you.
But I can talk. but I can speak on, like I said, my very first client was indirect, but direct was Jermaine Jones out of the University of Georgia, first round draft pick.
Okay.
And that's some 20 years later. We're still.
What position?
He power forward, small forward, but just wanted the thriller from Camilla.
And could fly.
That boy is a beast.
Boy could fly, boy.
Yeah.
That boy is a beast.
So I'll have to get him to come sit down with you guys the next time he's in town.
Absolutely.
We love it. We love it. We love it for sure. For sure. So not only from the NIL strategic partnership that you guys created, not only is it going to be football, but basketball is also going to have an opportunity.
Yes, we with the relationship with Prime One, we have baseball. We also have basketball now. So, like I said, we're just looking to grow and expand our platform and serve and help families.
That's awesome, man.
You need to sit with them.
That's awesome, man. So as we talk about basketball and you getting these players, we got to make sure you talk to my boy, Masai Ujiri, the new president of the Dallas Mavericks. They just hired him. We're getting ready to go back to the NBA Finals, everybody. Now you heard it here first from Dallas Melvin.
The Martin Luther King had dreams, too.
What do you mean
His
dreams? We
was
were
true.
there 2 years ago. So he ain't going to make boneheaded mistakes like the last GM did.
What bonehead mistake?
Come on, man. How you going to trade Luka?
I mean, that's a mistake.
How you going to trade Luka?
That joker lazy. He hurt. Where's he at now? Where's Luka at right now?
He in L.A. in the playoffs.
In the playoffs. What he doing?
He
doing what you doing, sitting on his ass.
He
I think that was
rehabilitated.
the owner's call. I don't think that was on him. I think he took the bullet for that one.
So, unfortunately, we got one less black coach in the NBA. Jamal Mosley was let go by the Orlando Magic after he blew a 3-1 lead against the number 1 seeded Detroit Pistons. Only thing I say is Orlando was in a full-blown rebuild when he got there 5 years ago, and he had that team in the playoffs for the last 3 years. The man should still have his job.
He should still have his job. And I think he should still have his job. What he has
Wait,
done.
what?
I know he blew that.
Hold on, time out.
So get your player
I'm
team
just
to the
saying,
playoffs.
the man been winning. There was a sleeper team to watch. He blew it. But think about how many coaches have blue leads and still kept their jobs and won championship.
Talking about Kelvin Sampson 2 weeks ago.
I'm just saying.
Well, first of all, Kevin Sampson never be in this conversation because he will never be a professional coach. So you talking about a coach don't have nobody offense. So why would you bring him out? We talking about this man, what this man
winning.
You said what this man
I don't care
done.
if he ran no
You
offense,
said
you
what
said
this
winning.
man done. You cannot bring no Kevin Sampson. Got an inner city offense, don't have nobody offense in plays, and you gonna bring him to the conversation of NBA. This man has put this team
putting
together.
him in NBA
I'm just
conversation.
So here's my
saying,
question.
The
Here's my
man
question.
shouldn't be fired, and the man, what has he done?
I mean,
Go
I
ahead,
think it
man.
boils down to how do you get fired for doing a good job?
Well,
You
so
know,
that's my
and-
point. Let us hear you in the chat. Do you
At least he
think,
runs some kind of offense.
Do you
Yeah.
think you should be fired after getting your team to the playoffs 3 years in a row from a young team? Let us hear you in the chat from this standpoint.
I'ma say
'Cause
this.
here's the thing. If that's the new standard, over half the league should be fired because they ain't got their team in the playoffs 3 years
But
in a
man,
row.
but all I'm saying is for Miles say something. Please do not put Kevin Sampson in this conversation. We talking about NBA professional basketball. Once that coach took over Denver Nuggets and the Lakers, all he did was ran and run. He had no kind of deal. Please don't do that. So go ahead, Miles.
I have no idea what you just said. But
Yeah,
I
thank
will
you.
say this,
Yeah.
though.
Everybody else out there know.
No, they don't either. I will say this.
They don't know what you talking about.
My point was, you saying Kelvin Sampson should be fired for staying stagnant.
Once again, we talking about professional
No,
basketball.
I got you.
Why we got to bring a
mean,
man
I
that don't have
think-
no
Go ahead,
offense
I
college?
think let it go. Let it go.
Please
No.
let.
Let's give you
What I'm
points.
saying is, the stagnancy is what I'm talking about. This is the issue that he had. And I'm not saying he should be fired, but I'm also not saying that you're going to keep a job in this situation. You did take a team that was in a rebuild, right? 5 years ago, probably one of the worst teams
Lottery
in the league.
team.
Worse than lottery.
No
You got-
talent.
You got the number 1 pick, right? Because you got Banchero out
Yeah.
there. So you went from lottery to the playoffs very fast, right? And you got to
In
the
3
first.
years.
In 3 years, you got to the first round. But the last 3 years, you stayed the first round. You were an A seed, and you lost a 3-1 lead. What that feels like is you almost sold them a dream too fast. And sometimes it's like if you get a girl and you take her out on all these $100 dates, $1,000 dates, and then all of a sudden, a year later, you're living a $40,000 a year life. She's like, what happened to the stuff you were gonna show me? What happened to what comes next? And there was no next. That will get you fired in a lot of places depending on the organization and who you're dealing with.
So it's no different having 19 seconds. You ain't got no plan.
But Orlando's been at the bottom for 2 decades, right? Since Doc Rivers was there. Doc Rivers couldn't get him out the first round, right? But if you look at it, he had them feeling so high, so fast, that they went from bottom dwelling to being at least relevant.
And
then they went out and got Desmond Bain.
I was about to bring that up, yeah.
They added to the team, and you didn't get any
think
further
that
than you
did.
got last year.
I think that hurt.
You gave up a 3-1 lead. People are going to start talking, and you're going to have issues. I'm not saying the man should be fired. I'm never here to talk about anybody's job and how they feed their family. But I'm saying in certain situations, that will be looked at as like we're not progressing anymore.
So,
which means one or two things. I'll let you go. Either you've done your job to the best of your ability and it's not going to go any further, or they've tuned you out.
Well, at the end of the day, 19 seconds, you ain't got to play design, so it don't matter.
Look at it.
Let's go to the next question.
Bickerstaff did the same thing with Cleveland, he did the same thing with Houston, and went further and got fired twice.
So what do you think about yesterday, San Antonio? That 1-0, that next
hold on. Before we go there, because we in H-Town, I'm just going to go ahead and get this out. And I'm jumping around. I'm jumping. This ain't even next on the list.
Y'all hopscotching.
This ain't even next on the list.
Can't take too long.
KD, Kevin Durant, should he stay or should he go?
Never should have him in the first place.
No, we got him now, so we ain't going to that conversation.
Houston need a point guard,
should he
first
stay
of all.
Or should he go right
First
now?
of all, here's my
Should
thing.
he go and can he go are two different things.
Okay, but here's my
Should
thing.
he go? Go ahead, Truesdale.
At the end of the day, whether he go or not, Houston need a point guard. So him getting hurt ain't surprised. But Houston's need a point guard. You cannot win this without a point guard.
Manuel, what you think?
That's one reason why
Durant,
Detroit
should he
won that
stay or should he
series.
go?
It's Kevin Durant. That's all that needs to be said. It's Kevin Durant.
Miles, very short, very quick. Should he stay or should he go?
I think he should go, but he can't go.
So here's what I'll tell you. He can go. He can go because they can trade him, and there's a market out there for him. Hold on, just a second. But to Truesdale's point, the Rockets did him and everybody else on that team a disservice by not going out and grabbing 2 or 3 point guards, at least giving them a shot. Did anybody see what Mike Conley did? Minnesota released Mike Conley and then re-signed him. They released him at the trade deadline. He was out there to be had, and then they re-signed
But
him.
Melvin, I would have did an emergency one, even though they want to try to blackball him at the end of his career because he keep it real. But he could have went and got Chris Paul in the playoffs.
Hold on, time out.
Come on, man.
They didn't go get nobody. That's the problem.
We didn't get nobody, and to that they're at fault. I've said that since the beginning. We've had that conversation. We don't know, and I always said I wanted Mike Conley at the trade deadline. But we don't know if Mike Conley wanted to leave. Obviously, he went back home to where his house was. So who says you could, they have to agree to come at the same time. I agree, we should have got somebody. But if you look at what Kevin Durant, for the amount of money you're spending on Kevin Durant, are you getting the value out of it? And I don't know if you are. So my thing is, should he go? Probably. Who's taking that on? Like which team? Because he's proven he's not going to take your team as the number one guy to be. Now, if you're going to get him as a hired hand, then yes, like a team like a Boston or San Antonio would love to have him. But what are they willing to give up for that market price?
What I'm saying is stay, go get a point guard. It's gonna be, I feel like it's gonna be different.
If he healthy or not, just get a point guard. And what you get in the draft?
Dude, Dallas had Brandon Williams. He could have did better on the Rockets. He was a two-way player. We ended up having Ryan Nembhard.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
After he gets done, go ahead. Say what you got to say.
No, I was just saying that if you look at Durant with the Warriors, I mean, he's just not the number one guy, but
not the number one guy.
He's a great 1, 2, or 3 to have.
He's a great hired hand to have.
He's a veteran now. He's not the go guy.
San Antonio, I think a team like Boston, if he's the third guy in Boston, is amazing, but are they going to give up what it takes to get him?
But why can't he be that second or third guy here? I mean,
Who's
we
the
have a lot of
number
good
1 and 2
pieces.
guy?
I mean, but there'll be some guys during the offseason that'll
Who's
want to
the
come
number
play.
1 and 2 guy?
I can't expound from the standpoint
based
of
on who they have now.
what they'll have on their roster next year. But
Then that's
what
a
I'm
different
saying,
conversation,
I
right?
mean, it could be, but what I'm saying is we just can't act as if Kevin Durant is trash can
No,
juice.
he ain't trash. He ain't trash.
Okay, let's put some respect on
Yeah, that's why I
Kevin
said, like,
Durant.
get rid of him, because he's still a veteran. Is he gonna be healthy?
And then let's also remember we haven't had a lot of superstars that want to come and play in Houston. So we gotta keep that in
You
mind.
get a lot of superstars in their career.
No.
At the end of their career.
At the end, you don't want a girl at the end.
No,
Yes,
I know.
sir.
That's what we get.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So you get Kevin Durant. I think you don't act as if Kevin Durant doesn't have.
How many years?
But Emmanuel,
I mean, maybe 3 or 4.
I agree.
Hold on.
But I agree with
say one
Emmanuel.
last point?
I'm gonna tell y'all something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. I agree with Emmanuel. Emmanuel from Georgia. You know that. I'm from Houston, born and raised. First of all, Houston always been a retirement home.
Live sports talk show.
Houston always had World B. Freakin'
I know,
retired
you
here.
have nothing to
You
say.
got Jack Tatum
We're gonna
retired
get you over in a
here.
second, though.
Bobby
We're gonna get you over in
Pittman.
a second. Get ready.
Archie Manning retired here.
I got all this. Armand Green, Ed
Negro,
Reed,
we are
Clyde
known
Drexler,
for a retirement home.
Charles Barkley,
And right
Scottie-
now,
I got a list.
we don't have time to be dealing with
I
this
will say
old
this,
stuff.
though. I will say
Hold on, we
this.
can see together, we can't
Point in
talk
time.
together. Let me say this about my hometown. We're known for a retirement home. And what I'm saying is Kevin Durant is good to have around. If he get hurt before the play, you just got to have a lot of young things around. 'Cause Houston got a lot of potentials. They got a lot of potentials to come overnight. Get a point guard, do a good draft pick, and go off free agent, because I get sick and tired of the city. We always a retirement home. Green, Ed Reed. Come on, man.
Hold on, I'll say this about
And
the
all right, man.
One,
I agree.
I think the player to really get rid of first, and everybody hates when I say this, is Sengun. That's you get your value out of. But 2, unless you put together a package that's going to be what San Antonio and OKC is coming, it don't matter for Dallas. It don't
But
matter
Houston
for
Rockets coach
it
is
don't
not
matter
bad.
for LA.
But he's,
Until you can put together something going to beat those 2 guys.
I understand that though. But that dude is not a bad coach. He could do a Sagoon
say he
playing
was
out
a
his
bad
game.
coach.
I just
Because
want to
Sagoon
say,
playing out his game.
it's a little bit off the subject, but I got to refute you, Emmanuel.
Go
You
ahead.
said who want the girl at the end?
Nobody.
I mean, she's long right now. She had a long career.
Hold on.
Who wanna be
But-
retirement
but-
home?
No, goddamn it. Hold on. Nia Long ain't
She
had
had
her
a long
end.
career.
She
Listen.
ain't at her end, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
Don't let him talk about
Yeah.
you like that. Give me a call. I'll tell you how you ain't at your end.
I'm saying you don't want the girl on her deathbed.
Okay. She not dying now. She
Yeah,
not
you don't
dying.
want the girl
Yeah,
on
she
her.
got enough paper. You
I
might.
mean, in that scenario, but
So what's been the big surprise out of coming out the first round playoffs? Is it Denver losing to Minnesota or Boston losing to Philly?
Denver losing Minnesota.
Denver losing Minnesota, and LeBron still doing that thing.
I don't know what
And
game,
LeBron.
I don't know what games y'all was watching, but Boston was balling
Hold
and
up.
Philly was garbage.
I agree
so
with you.
how is that not the biggest surprise?
Because 2 things happened in that series. Philly got Joel Embiid back, and Boston lost Jason Tatum. And it was
Definitely.
1 game. Minnesota lost Anthony Edwards early, and they still continue to tax
And they lost
Denver's butt.
how you say his name?
They lost Anthony Edwards, you got me messing dude's name up.
DiVincenzo.
That dude, DiVincenzo, and Ayo, whatever his name is. And they never, Jaden McDaniels stepped up, and they never, ever stopped putting belt to butt in Denver. That was never expected by anybody, because Denver didn't lose nobody.
But I think that long series is going to hurt Philly in the long run.
Oh, absolutely.
Philly ain't got a
I'm
chance.
talking about the next round, but as far as those 2 rounds go, I was not.
Well,
if
Brown
if I
said-
had told you before
Brown
the
said
series,
the-
you're
Brown-
gonna lose 3 starters in Minnesota and still beat Denver with Joker and Murray and all them. Would you have taken that bet? No.
Nope.
Exactly. That's
Well,
my point.
Brown said you up 3-1, and he blamed the referees. And it's been some dumb calls. I saw some dumb
Why don't you
calls
blame all
last
the
night.
shots your teammates missed? They still should
They
have won
lost-
some of those games.
They lost a lot of shots. I know that.
So here's my question though.
Live by 3, die by 3.
Did they bring Tatum back too quick?
I don't know because we don't
Nah,
know
Tatum
exactly
wasn't ready.
what the essential.
He wasn't ready.
They just said a leg injury. We don't know. Now, if
It's Achilles. He wasn't ready.
we don't know.
But that's the
He wasn't
thing.
ready.
I actually had a really one of my young athletes who was dealing with elbow injury, and you just have to understand that you have to take your time. You can't rush a young player or rush players back because it'll end up hurting you in the long run.
No, I agree with you. We just don't know what the injury is. Was it a freak accident? Was it overcompensation? Like what is the leg injury that he missed game 7
I mean, they never
for? We
gave
don't
the
know.
details of it, but when you talk about a leg injury on a leg that you're just coming back from an Achilles, and typically, like Kyrie got hurt his Achilles last year, he didn't come back. Tyrese Halliburton, he hurt his, he didn't come back. I know everybody's different.
Let me tell y'all something
training.
about Achilles injury. I had a lot of friends went down
I've had 2 of
in
them
college
myself.
and early in their career in the pros, couldn't come back. Kevin
Well,
Smith couldn't come
technology is
back.
different now than
So
the 70s
the
when
thing
you
is
played.
now with the technique now, it helps those kids. And
You mean the 50s
with
and
their
the 60s?
technique, it take a while.
It's different.
So
when
at
you
the end
play
of
in
the day, it's the man kidney. It's his Achilles, and that's why he wasn't gonna be back 100%.
Hold on, time out. I've had-
But like St. Brown there said, a lot of these athletes got to work on their Achilles. They tape their ankles, but they don't tape their Achilles. And there's all kind of things you can do standing around with on the curve. Tape your work on
Here's
your
the real
Achilles.
deal. Here's the real deal.
That's a hard
So,
thing to come back from.
I've torn my
And the
same
older you
Achilles.
get, you can't come back from.
I've
Kobe
torn my
Bryant
same
is a
Achilles.
prime example. You didn't play pro ball, I'm just saying. But go ahead.
I've torn my Achilles twice. The second time I was playing ball and I was older than Jason Tatum. What I'm saying is this. An Achilles is a tendon. It's a ligament. You cannot strengthen it like you do a muscle, right? Now, as far as did he come back, you're right. A lot of guys, when you played in the late to early 1900s, did not have the technology that's there now to come back from it. I don't know what the injury is that he's gotten. Now, if you tell me it's another Achilles or anything near the calf, then he came back way too early. 100%.
Somebody in chat said, hold on. Somebody in
You heard
chat
the same
said,
time
hold on.
Indiana
Somebody
player
in
hurt
chat,
it. You heard
somebody
the
in
same
chat
time.
said Denver lost forward Bron. He's their starting forward. They lost starting forward.
Minnesota lost 3 players, and one of them's Anthony Edwards.
I'm just
you
saying.
compare Brian Brown to that?
I
No,
mean, he's a
I'm not.
starter and got a shot.
Not
So
the same,
I'm just saying
baby.
that's what the chat
Not
said.
the same.
That's what the chat. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. This guy replaced a Hall of Fame legendary coach in Popovich. Did he blow the game in game 1 by not calling a timeout with a young team?
They ran out of timeouts.
Huh?
They ran out of timeouts.
No, they
by
had a
the seventh.
timeout. They had a timeout.
They had a timeout. I thought
At
they
what
ran
point
out.
did you want to call a timeout?
When they got the ball and there's 4 seconds left, and you let anybody other than Wemby, your best player,
No,
take a
they
shot.
didn't have no timeouts. They said they just stay on TNT. I wasn't nobody in the call timeout, Melvin, and I agree. They should have called timeout. It was like 10 seconds. They had the
They
ball.
said he had time to call timeout. They said the guy that shot the ball was one of their better shooters.
Right.
And he got a good look.
He got a good look.
He just missed it. But as a young team, who you want taking that last shot? You want him taking it? No, you can't even call his name. Most people can't even call his name.
You're right.
You want Wemby. You want Wemby called.
You goddamn right.
What you say?
I think if you call a timeout, there's no way in the world Minnesota allows Wemby to get a ball in a space where he can take a shot that matters.
Here's my question to
You
you.
allowing the defense
Here's
to set
my
up.
question to you. And I'm going to ask you and you this question. Don't you answer. The man is 7'6".
Yes.
He can jump higher than anybody on the court.
And got to jump all the way.
And they ain't got to jump all the way. So how they going to at least stop him from getting the ball so you practice this in practice. You throw it up where ain't nobody else can get it. And then guess what? You don't bring it down amongst the kids. You keep it up there in the trees. You at least get a
Melvin,
good shot.
that was part of them coming back with his long arms. They overthrew the ball. He caught it still.
Mayo, what you think?
Measurements plays a role, and it helps.
I think you definitely get the ball into Wemby's hand, win, lose, or draw.
Yes.
You know.
So
Yes.
we got B. Jackson in the chat said they had 2 timeouts left with 7 seconds.
Oh, they should have got timeout.
2 timeouts left with 7.
My bad.
Like I will continue to say.
Am I allowed to answer yet?
Yep, just a second. Like I will continue to say, when it comes down to crunch time in these games, whether it's basketball or football,
JJ.
that's what you're paying the coach for. And when the coach mismanages the game, you got 2 timeouts and you let somebody take a shot that you don't even know his name and the superstar don't touch the ball, that's something you should be getting fired over. Go ahead.
Did the other coach get paid too?
Yeah,
To manage the game too?
absolutely.
Okay. So if we all
Other
know
coach didn't call timeout.
if you call a timeout, then I know you're definitely trying to get this ball to Wemby, right? I got Rudy Gobert, and I got Jaden, whoever else is over there. I'm going to make sure, I know he's 7'6", can jump over everybody. Before he touched that ball, he's going to be pushed so far in the other direction that even if he catches it, he's not getting a comfortable shot. If we both have to understand that there are coaches on both sides. And the other coach in Minnesota has a ton of experience as well.
Well, if you put him on top, how you gonna push him around?
All I'm saying is,
I'm just saying, Kevin Sampson.
180
Exactly,
pounds.
but you can put him out. You have a play where you can set his mind, where you can run around and set him out.
Miles, are you telling me you can't practice those situations in practice to give yourself an opportunity to run a legit play, to give yourself an opportunity to make a shot?
Absolutely, you can.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
He don't have to be in the paint.
Run it.
The defense also practices as well.
Exactly.
Like it's only one person setting up something.
I didn't say that.
But
that's what
you ain't got to put him inside and get bumped around.
In a situation and you decide, am I gonna get a better shot than what I'm gonna get if I let the defense set up? A lot of times when the defense set up, the shot you get is gonna be worse than the one you want, right? It's very few times that happens that way.
I like to always ask this question: if your life depended on it, would Wemby get the ball or not?
Over who shot it?
I'm not saying that's not where you want the ball to go. 100% you're going to try to do everything you can to get him the ball.
Would you call timeout to get it to him? If your life depended on it,
here's the thing. You ain't even got to give it to him. You don't have to even give it to him right away. As long as he run around, as long as he is, it's a way you can set the plays up. I'm just trying to figure that out. You're not going to have him inside getting banged around. Come on, Kevin Sampson Jr.
And I respect your acumen as the person who played at a high level, but I just want to ask you that to dig deep.
100%.
Who would you want?
Of course who I want, but you look at the situation, right? And the situation, and I'm not saying I don't know what Joe Mazzulla was looking at, but sometimes like I got momentum going this way, and they're out of sync defensively right now. I should be able to get a good shot. And really, they didn't need a 3. If they got a 2, they go to overtime, right? So
overtime at home.
At home, right? Which is what you want. You want to do overtime at home, try to win the game on the road. So you look at that and go, I got momentum, and they're not set up defensively. I think we can get a good shot, right? Because they're not set up defensively. Now, if I call timeout, yes, I can draw a play, but so can he. And if I feel like
Miles, you're a coach. Miles, hold on. I just got to ask this question because I need you to freaking stop talking out of both sides of your mouth. If you I'm saying this respectfully though. Respectfully. If you're coaching.
If it's me, I've been there. There are times when I didn't call a timeout.
I know. If you were playing last night and you was coaching San Antonio Spurs, would you call timeout or not? You watched the game. You watched the play.
Yes or no question?
I watched the game.
Would you call timeout or not?
Yes or no?
Just say yes or no.
Yes or no?
Yes or no, brother?
I'm just saying the sideline is different than watching on TV.
Yes, no.
From the TV perspective, yeah, you call timeout.
Everybody say.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, everybody always say. And I understand and respect
that. We're not on the sideline. The sideline is different.
I'm going to say this. Everybody say about the sideline, some things are common sense. Even a person in the stands can call a call. Football, basketball, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's a series.
That ball goes
at the end of the day, it's a series. So they got a couple more games. San Antonio will come back and win.
But I understand why you haven't gotten your T-shirt yet. Because I agree with you.
Man.
I agree with you. I agree with you. That's why you don't have a T-shirt, bro.
If that ball
Get that man a
T-shirt
T-shirt.
to the right, we ain't saying shit.
Man, if a lot of balls in the world went 6 inches to the right, it'd be more kids in the world. So, well, that's all I'm saying. So, with that being said, let's talk about. Since we got a football guy here, and you came up with some good players. Top 5. They're not playing right now. Top 5. We're gonna start right here and then go here. Don't get the reason why. Just give me your top 5. Top 5 former NFL QBs all time. You don't have to give me an order unless you want to.
Easy. Joe Montana.
All right.
Doug Williams.
Okay.
Warren Moon.
Okay.
Young.
Okay.
Steve
That's
Young.
4. That's 4.
And a lot of people believe I don't ever give him no credit. Troy Aikman.
Okay. Who you got?
Listen, people.
We talking the same Doug Williams.
Listen, people. This is simple. GOAT Tom Brady won.
Okay. You didn't say Tom Brady though, by the way.
John need Tom Brady.
Joe Montana.
Okay.
Brett Favre.
Okay.
You disagree?
Keep going.
Aaron Rodgers. What?
Keep going, keep going,
Are
keep
we
going.
talking talent or accomplishments?
Your
talking
top 5,
talent.
how you want to put it? Your top 5.
Drew Brees.
Ooh.
I like that
Ooh,
Drew
how
Brees
you-
call, though. I like
how
that
you
Drew
take-
Brees call.
I said what I said,
I like
bro.
that
How
Drew
you
Brees
take-
call, though. I like that Drew Brees.
I won't get a T-shirt either.
Keep going, keep
Yeah,
going.
no
I
T-shirts
see I ain't
on
gonna
there.
get no T-shirt
Guess
either.
what? You surely ain't getting no T-shirt. But that
Boy, I
garbage,
tell you.
I like
I'm
that
saying,
Drew Brees
keep
call,
going.
though. I like
Let me
that
hear
Drew
your,
Brees
let me hear your trash.
My trash,
Let me hear your trash.
Montana, Marino, Moon, Brady.
Peyton Manning.
Hell no. Did you say Aikman?
Peyton Manning?
Oh, I thought you said Aikman. My bad.
Peyton
My bad.
Manning. I
I'm thinking
left
about
Peyton
Peyton.
out.
Yeah,
You
I'll
put
put Peyton.
Peyton on your list.
I'm over here hurting because I didn't put him in there.
That's
my birthday twin.
No, I'll put Peyton Manning on there. Because I was trying to decide between Peyton Manning and
So
Drew
give me
Brees.
your list again while
I had to
you
get him in somebody.
discombobulated.
Montana, Marino, Moon, Manning, and Brady.
So
Oh,
let me just educate.
where he going?
Let me educate y'all.
Staubach,
we gotta go.
Aikman.
No,
Dak.
hold on. We got Brady. We got Peyton Manning. We got Joe Montana. We got
You can't even say it online, man.
It's okay. It's
Tom
okay.
Brady is a system player.
hold on.
That would
He
help
is,
this,
but he
boy.
did what he was supposed to do.
Hold on.
Joe
we got
Montana
Dan
came
Marino,
back and
Dan
won
Marino.
games.
And then you got to put one of the most accurate quarterbacks of all time, Troy Aikman, on that top
don't
five.
Yeah,
have to
Troy
do
Aikman,
shit.
but
3
the
Super
thing-
Bowl and
But
all
see,
these things.
but see, I say
Down.
Doug came to Tampa. He made history, number one, being black. Came to Tampa, did what he did, went to the playoffs, set the man out for years. Thank God Gibbs called him back. Came back and put the best all-time performance in the Super Bowl and got hurt and still came back and did his thing. And he should be in the Hall of Fame for that and making history. Aikman don't get credit like he deserves. Let's get that straight.
One of the most
They
accurate
don't
quarterbacks
give
all
him
time.
credit. Accurate.
And 3 Super Bowls.
That Warren Moon won 5 cups, came here. He didn't run a prevent defense. They didn't run the ball a lot. He did what he had to do to get him there. Joe Montana, he just gone.
Let's hear your chat.
He's
Get in the
gone.
chat. Let us know who your top 5 quarterbacks are of all time.
Steve Young.
Nobody was playing
Hey, hold
right
on,
now.
before we go, I put Steve Young at starting 5 because it's a shame. I got to say this. Steve Young was a bad boy, and he opened doors for the mobile black quarterbacks. Think about it. He opened doors for the Michael Vick.
I agree with you.
Oh,
But,
think
but
about
guess
it.
what?
Donald
We
Trump
said
had nothing to do
5.
with
You
that?
named 15 over there, bro.
No, I'm just naming what they done and how they opened doors for a lot of people because Warren Moon and Doug Williams did open doors for the black quarterbacks.
Okay, let's try
okay.
this again. We're going to try this again. We're going to start with you, Miles. Since you're so knowledgeable about running backs, top 5 running backs all-time NFL, not in the game right now.
Jim Brown,
Jim Brown,
Barry Sanders, Walter Payton,
Walter Payton,
LaDainian Tomlinson.
LaDainian Thompson. You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
That's easy, man.
Kill it.
Gonna burn
You
my
don't know.
soul.
Man, stick with
Kill
basketball.
it.
Burn my soul.
Say it, brother. Say it. Say it, brother. Come on. Can I get a hallelujah? See, you got it's 5. It's
You could have
5.
named somebody beside him.
Go ahead. He can't do it.
No, I gotta give Emmitt Smith his credit.
Emmitt Smith. All right.
Oh,
Man.
What who you got? Top 5 NFL quarterbacks all time.
Running backs.
Running backs.
Jim Brown,
All right.
Walter Payton,
Yep.
Adrian Peterson.
Oh,
I decided to go and throw a little something in
I
there.
love that.
Okay.
Adrian Peterson, Emmitt Smith, and Barry Sanders.
Oh, mine's so easy. I'm going to go with Earl Campbell.
Okay.
I'm going to go with O.J. Simpson, the Juice.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Sweetness. I'm going to go with Barry Sanders. And I'm always go with Gail Sells.
Over Jim Brown?
Hey, the man
I'm
caught
asking,
balls
I'm
out the
asking,
backfield.
I'm just asking.
Gail Sells had her career, yeah.
I thought about Gail Sayers. That's why I was asking.
So, once again,
And I didn't really get to see Jim. I know we
gonna
can get on
say-
film,
we're gonna
but
say the
you
real
got
list for the
YouTube.
end.
yeah, you got
The
you
real
too.
list for the end. So number
I love
one
Earl.
Ezekiel Elliott.
is the all-time rushing leader in NFL history, Emmitt Smith. Number 2 is a guy he grew up watching and idolized, Walter Payton. Number 3 is the man who really put running backs on the map, so to speak, for us, people that look like us. And then Jim Brown.
Who was 3?
Jim Brown.
Okay.
And then number 4 is the man that arguably don't have necessarily the stats, but I will listen to the argument he's the best running back all time, and that's Barry Sanders. I'll listen to that argument that he's the best of all time.
I would agree.
I'm gonna say this
and last but not least, we got the Tyler Rose, UT baby. You got it, Earl Campbell. He's on that top 5 list. That dude was running with torn jerseys. He running over people, running by people, and he was the man before running backs were the man.
And I'm gonna say this growing up as a kid, 1978, Thanksgiving weekend, I was about, 2nd grade? And, you don't have no white running backs, but the coldest white boy running back I ever seen was Craig James.
Craig James.
And I say most powerful white boy running is Riggins.
All right, here's where it's going to get tough.
Seen him against
By the way, make sure you go on our social media, hit our YouTube, subscribe, like us, let us know in the chat who you think your all-time is. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, as well as Facebook. We'd love to hear from you. We're live here at On the Rocks in historic 3rd Ward, Texas.
OST.
OST, baby, if you're from Houston. If you're not, that's Old Spanish Trail. We're here every Tuesday. Come check us out. We'll hit you on the show.
But, man, can I say something right quick before we go?
Ahead.
The girls that were trying to testify against Diggs, does he sound like an 8-year-old on trial?
We gonna get there in a second. We got to do that. Before we go, we got to jump over to the defensive side. I was gonna say, we're gonna jump over defensive side. We're gonna come back to wide receivers. And y'all wanna do DBs or pass rushers?
I can lead. Let's do DBs.
DBs? Okay. Top 5 DBs of all time. Go ahead, Manuel. We know who number 1 is, so don't even try to get it twisted.
Deion Sanders.
Okay. All right.
Them Woodson boys, Rod and Charles.
Okay.
Darryl Green.
Okay.
And Stephon Gilmore. I said it.
I was with you till you got there.
I said it. Darrell Reeves, 6.
Who you got?
A guy should be in the Hall of Fame. Straight out of H-Town, 5th Ward, Texas, Lester Hayes out of Wheeler High. Darryl Green, Deion Sanders. I'm going to go with Jack Tatum, the hardest hitting defensive player, period, play DB. And I'm going to go with, a lot of people don't give him credit, he wasn't the fastest, but he had technique, Reeves.
I agree with Reeves, but hold on, bro. Will we include Ronnie Lott in that?
That's what I was waiting on.
No, because we're saying DB. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm going to take Jack Tatum
were
over
we
him.
talking corners or were we talking safety? Just DB spirit.
Yeah,
Okay.
when I say hard,
well, Ronnie
see,
Lott
the thing is with Ronnie Lott, he wasn't
What?
the fastest, but he was a headhunter. But Jack Tatum was away. Man, Jack Tatum got Stingley.
He was a
Come
baller.
on, man.
He was a baller.
That man gave nightmares.
Who you got?
Prime, Green, Lott, Palomalu. And if we go in DBs, Ed Reed.
So,
Hold on.
my list is very...
No, Ed Reed is really very good.
Yeah.
My list is
He went
very
in there
similar
very
to that.
good.
We got Prime Time. We got Ronnie Lott. We got Darryl Green. We got
Let me help you out. Jack Tatum.
no. Who'd you say?
Ed Reed.
We got Charles Woodson, and then we got. You're right. You got to put the Woodson boys in.
Rod and Charles have to
we
be.
got Charles Woodson, and then we got Darren Woodson from Dallas Cowboys, all-time safety.
But I might didn't.
Super
He's
Bowl
a
winning
Cowboy
Bears.
fan.
my top
He's
five.
a Cowboy
Y'all sleep
fan.
on
But I might
Darren
have had this in my
You're a
top
Cowboy
5.
fan.
But I
Y'all
got to
sleep
agree
on
with
Darren Wilson.
I got to agree with Miles. Ed Reed was probably the smartest safety that played the game. He wasn't
Definitely.
headhunter, the way he ran around. Yeah, he's him up.
All right, y'all know how we always end the show. Before we give our thanks to our special guest, Truesdale moment. What you got for
I
us,
just want
brother?
to talk about the girls testifying against Diggs. Did she sound like an 8-year-old in court? Miles, what you think?
I didn't see the test. I didn't see it. So give us a rundown.
He put the mic down. That's enough. I mean, she sounded like a kid testifying
I'll just
against.
say this. She never, I think what she expected versus what she got was totally different. She was not prepared for the amount of questions that Stephon Diggs' team had coming at her. And for whatever reason, it just never came together. 2 plus 2 never equal 4 for her. And
I'm like, Miles, I'm like, who is the lawyers? They could have at least got her prepared. Like, did they try to at least get the girl
the
prepared?
lawyers would have gotten it. For some reason, they didn't get the information or got the information too late that Stephon's lawyers presented. They'd have tried to sell their case out of court a long time ago.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, Stephon Diggs was found not guilty on the charges. Congratulations to him. We don't have to worry about that. Hopefully he will get another opportunity in the NFL next year because he was found not guilty. The man went over 1,000 yards again as one of the primary receivers in the NFL. Mayo, before we go, we're going to give you your last word. Please give the people in the tunnel your information in case they have questions about their kids, the NIL process. You're a great resource for us.
All right. I can be reached at Emmanuel, Emanuel, at upperedgesports.com. Looking forward to hearing from you, and we're looking forward to seeing how we can serve and just help make everybody. I'm stuck right now, but thank you guys for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Come back anytime.
Yeah, we're going to definitely. This is the first of many, we hope.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
So, Miles, what you got for us, buddy?
Hey, we were talking about the GMs and college coaches. Shout out to John Wall, who just got the job as a
Howard.
GM.
There we go, at Howard.
Shout out
Congratulations.
to Steph Curry, who's the assistant GM at his school.
Oh, that's right.
And, Sacramento State, Shaxters, like all those guys getting those positions, having those influences are very necessary in basketball, and those guys will lead those guys in the right direction.
And it don't matter how big the college is, too, because my homeboy Ray Biggins, I grew up with, played at Arkansas from the Clark. Shout out to Ray Biggins. But his teammate, give a shout out to him. Tar Davis got a job at Evan Waters, too. Guy, former University of Arkansas star. But Melvin, I'm going to say something before I go.
Ahead.
Don't get started. I just want to give a shout out to my Medical Lawrence, good job at the Ricky Cameo and Downs. I saw you was moving, baby. Keep it going. Please don't get started on the Cowboy.
I'm not going to get started. You said it. Guess what? We got to end every show talking about America's team,
Shout out to Coach Street, getting prepared, baby.
So once again, thank you for joining us in the tunnel for this week. We look forward to seeing you next week. Get ready. Get ready for some big, new, upcoming, and exciting things. Just like we got my boy Emmanuel Drakes here today. We're going to have some more guests that you're going to want to hear from. You're going to want to hear from. So make sure you tune into us next week.
Like Rollo with the
Follow
goal
us on social media. We'll see you soon.
Peace. Out.